Hello, hello. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. All right, so today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, procrastination. Why is that my favorite topic? Because if you know me at all and you followed my work at all, you know that the reason behind your behavior is never what you think, right? It's always a deeper unconscious wound or trauma that is creating the behavior that you're experiencing now. So a lot of my clients and a lot of the people I work with will struggle with things like procrastination, lack of motivation, or even though they know what action they're supposed to take, there's something that's stopping them, right? They feel stuck. They feel like they can't move forward. So a lot of what people will do is just like make themselves wrong, blame themselves and be like, I'm lazy, or, I need to meditate more, or I have to change my mindset or whatever. And those things might help for a minute, but they're never going to get you to the root, the reason why you procrastinate with things. And what I see for so many people is there's always a deeper implication of trauma. Sometimes it is something from your childhood, whether it's a belief that you created based on growing up that you're not good enough. So you procrastinate because you're afraid that however you're going to do the project or do the thing, put yourself out there, create the offer, launch something, write your book, or even if it's something at your job, you're like, well, I'm afraid it's not going to be good enough. So why am I going to do it? So you procrastinate, right? Or what I've seen with a lot of women, it even goes beyond the childhood trauma and the family trauma to something much deeper. You agree with this? Oh, good. Yes. Yeah. So, and what I found is, I've worked with hundreds of women at this point to help them heal their childhood relational trauma so they can create the lives they desire. But what I started to see with almost every single woman, including myself, was that a lot of times there was something even deeper, right? There was some kind of fear around being seen, around putting themselves out there that would cause them to not only procrastinate, but also have 100 different stories of why they needed to wait, or why they needed to learn something more, or why they needed to get clarity. And what I started to realize is they're telling themselves this story because they're actually afraid. And even after we healed so much of the childhood stuff and we did all of that work, there was like this deeper fear that I felt like I wasn't quite putting my finger on. And I was even seeing this with myself too. And then what I started to realize is that with every single woman that I worked with, including myself, there was this deeper past life archetypal fear around the danger of putting yourself out there and being seen for your gifts, being seen for your magic, the thing that you're supposed to share with the world, your purpose. There was this underlying deep-seated fear that it was so hard for people to put their finger on that made them feel like it was actually dangerous for them to put themselves out there. So once I pinpointed this, I was like, oh, this is actually a past life thing. And I am not into past lives. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool, but I am very logical and practical when it comes to my trauma work. And I really only want to help people with things that are actually going to get them where they want to go and get them the result that they want. So to me, sifting through a million different past lifetimes or unraveling who you were and all the trauma you had feels like a waste of time, because it's like, well, where is this getting me? But what I did see is that there were a lot of these just like little fears that were rooted much deeper than the family origins that were the same across the board for everybody. And that was the fear of being seen, the fear of putting yourself out there, the fear of being judged, criticized, or ostracized, or the fear of something terrible happening. And I saw this come up for most women when they wanted to put themselves out there, but they didn't realize that was happening. It was more thinking, oh, well, I just need to wait until, after this thing happens, or I need to wait until I learn this other thing, or I need to wait until I get clarity. But really, they were just telling themselves that story because they didn't know and they weren't aware of this deeper fear around the danger, or what felt like danger, of putting themselves out there. So I was like, oh wow, this is deeper than the family trauma stuff. And this is something that I can create a different set of tools around other than my, tools that I have for the family and childhood trauma stuff that I teach in the Metamorphosis. This is just focused on this specific fear of being seen and putting yourself out there that is related to past lifetimes of, being ostracized or killed for sharing your gifts. We've all heard of this at this point, but it still plagues us. I mean, I think anybody who has a desire to step out and share their authentic purpose has some sort of fear around what are other people going to think? Are people are going to judge me? Am I going to lose my friends? Am I going to be ostracized from my community? And it literally stops you. It makes you question yourself. And then you're at this, in this tug of war with yourself of I want to do this, but it's better to just stay in this comfortable place where I have my friends and my family and my community, and I'm not, making anyone feel uncomfortable. But then there's this other part of you that's no, you're meant for more. There's more that you're meant to do, and you're not going to be happy until you do it. So instead of being at this tug of war with yourself, there's a way that you can address this so that you can feel safe putting yourself out there. And that's why I created Past Lives and Money, to give you the tools so that you can start to feel safe showing up and being seen and sharing your authentic gifts, whether you have a business, you want to start a business, you just started a business, or whether you have a career but you just want to be able to show up in your power and authenticity. This is the answer to that. And it's not about unraveling all of these past lifetimes or trying to heal every single trauma from every past life. I'm not about that. I don't like that. I just want to give you tools that create a result quickly. And that's what this is about. So if you're resonating with this and you're yes, I have this fear of being seen. Yes, I procrastinate. I tell myself these stories, and I want a quick and easy way to create a shift so that I can actually have fun putting myself out there, have fun showing up on my authenticity, and let it be more of an artistic and fun expression, and be able to make money doing it, rather than it being this thing that I'm constantly fighting with myself about and constantly having this tug of war about, then just comment below or reach out to me and I'll send you more info about Past Lives and Money. It is 50% off until the end of today. So, I've had so many women go through this and achieve amazing results and be able to really start to share their gifts with the world, show up on social media, show up online and share who they are. And so many women will say to me, I just hate social media, and I'm no, you don't hate social media. You're just afraid of being judged or criticized. You're just afraid of being seen. And listen, I get it. I don't love social media either, but it also is a really great way to express yourself and share your gifts with the world and create a business or a way of being where you can get paid for sharing your unique purpose and your authenticity. So send me a message or a comment below and I'll send you more info. When you sign up, you will get access to a ton of breath work and tools and all of the teachings immediately that you can start watching right away. And then I have 2 live experiences. And if you guys haven't tried my breath work yet, most of you, if you follow me already, you know that I have been teaching and sharing breathwork for 24 years. I discovered breathwork when I was 19 years old, and I was doing it before, most people knew what it was. I actually used to be scared to tell people about it because I thought they would think I was weird. But I have developed a very specific targeted type of breath work to clear trauma that's different than anything else out there, because I also have paired it with my, decade plus years as a mental health professional. So I'm really marrying, all of my experience in the healing space with my profession to bring you tools that dissolve trauma in a very targeted and efficient way. So you don't have to talk about things over and over again or go through the same process over and over again. You can, have a very simple, specific process that you can use to release these energies so that they're just not an issue in your life anymore and you can move forward in the way that you desire. So when you sign up, you'll also get access to 2 breathwork sessions to help you clear these energies, where I talk you through a very targeted process on how to do that. And then I'm going to be giving you 2 live experiences. One is a breathwork and trauma healing session where I'm going to take you through a somatic experience to clear these energies from your body. People usually have instant results during this because they're very powerful, and it helps you tap into your consciousness on different levels and release things from the subconscious that are holding you back. And you'll leave feeling completely different and having a totally new perspective and upgrading your energy in a new way so that you're not repeating these same patterns over and over again and having that tug of war with yourself. And then I'm also going to be having a live coaching experience where I'll help you apply the content to your specific situation or circumstance. So I will walk you through how to apply the tools to your specific situation in your life so that you'll walk away knowing exactly how to create the shift you want to create based on your specific circumstances. So if you have any questions at all, just reach out to me. And then also, obviously, if you're interested in learning more about my trauma clearing tools in general, if you feel stuck in your life, if you feel like you've hit a plateau, if you just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again, whether it's in relationships or in your business, then reach out to learn more about that too. And if you have any questions. Okay, I will leave it there. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.